Well, clearly, Sri Lanka nor Bangladesh got the memo at all.
Kurt, the fact is that if Sri Lanka and Bangladesh didn't get the memo, West Indies didn't get the memo either. West Indies had one job.
Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, Sports DTM fans, and welcome to another episode of Sports Down the Middle, your channel of undiluted sports content. Your favorite analysts are here. Well, some of your favorite analysts are here to give you their feedback on the disappointing performance of the West Indies cricket team today. Analyst, I'm going to share the screen. You probably don't want scorecard, but I'm going to share it anyway. All right, so West Indies finally won the toss, and they decided to let Sri Lanka have a go. Sri Lanka scored 189 for 3 of 20 overs, run rate 9.45. Nesanka opener 51 of 41, Pereira 29 of 21, Asalanka 68 of 41, Shananka 25 from 14. The bowlers for the West Indies. So 13 extras. Ralston chased 1 over for 6 runs. He opened the bowling, Older 4 for 37. Rampal 4 for 37. Well, 4 overs, 37 runs. Andre Russell 4 overs, 33 runs, 2 wicket. The spinner Hussain 2 overs, 22 runs, 11 runs per over. Dwayne Bravo 4 overs, 42 runs, 1 wicket. Pollard 1 over for 8 runs. Adrian, when you hear this type of performance by the bowlers, everybody close to 10 runs per over, what's your reaction? Winning the toss is what we anticipated would have been the best or the miracle for the West Indies. You win the toss, you put the team in, you chase down the runs. That is what has been happening so far. 80% of the team do that and win. Why we never fall another 80% at this time around?
Well, Kurt, this is the West Indies. I mean, you'd have wanted the West Indies to win the toss, and they won the toss, and they said, wow, this is good. But that's good in the context, and would have been good in the context that the match that was played before, which was Australia had improved their net run rate by destroying the Bangladeshis earlier on in the morning. But when you look at the numbers, clearly the Sri Lankans were out to prove a point. They were trying to pull the West Indies down out of the tournament. They were already out. But just look at the bowling there. Ruston Chase, 1 over, 6 runs. He only gets 1 over. You look down the line, DJ Bravo, 4 overs, 42 runs. I'm not going to go by it, but if you're thinking, you're trying to understand where a captain is trying to utilize his players who have helped him. But the number that he has there for a chase would at least allow him to get even 1 more over on this pitch, but he couldn't get in. And we just saw the West Indies being battered and bruised right from the start. And like the Sri Lankans just were not informed that DTM had actually put out a route and a pathway for West Indies to get into the semi-final, but they were having none of it.
Apart from Sri Lanka being bad man, Raymond, looking at this bowling performance, 4 overs, Jason Holder, he came in from the reserve, 4 overs for 37. Ravi Rampal, 4 overs, 37 runs. I mean, this is probably where it went wrong to begin with for the West Indies. They really just throw the ball upon them and then bat.
Yeah, it slipped away from them big time. Based on if this they probably don't even tell you the full story because it's some excellent shot selection by Sri Lanka. I watching the game, this is some excellent shot selection, some flicks, some sixes. They actually played really really well. Credit to Sri Lanka, really really excellent performance by them. Um, Now, where the bowling is concerned, I'm not surprised that Rastan Chase didn't get another ball in. I mean, at 6 run, it's like one runner ball pretty much. So I can understand why he wasn't introduced again. He wasn't given a chance to bowl another over or such because at what point you'd realize that Bravo is a little bit off his game, and they have put tremendous pressure on Bravo, and Bravo pretty much can't really find the spot, put them back on pressure. So guess what you do? You change it up on them. And Bravo kind of out of sorts a bit, so change it up.
But and not even though what to say, looking at the bowling performance, and I heard you said Sri Lanka had some very good shot selection, but the West Indies never looked aggressive enough for a team that is trying to make it through to the semi-final.
Well, is that for rare, Mika?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So let me put some numbers in perspective for you. I hope I can get the maths correctly. So you're talking about an aging West Indies team. Players who more than half of the team are over on the wrong side at 30, but some are already 30. So let's go. Andre Russell, 33 going on to 34. Kieran Pollard, the captain, 34 going on to 35. I'm rolling them up in order. Lyndon Simmons started the tournament, 2 matches. He's 36 going to 37. Ravi Rampal, the fat man Rampal, he's 37 going on to 38. Darren DJ Bravo, he is 38 years old. Christopher Gill, he is 42 years old. We're talking about old age society, and it showed in the field. 16 extra sloppy, lack of aggression. I mean, it was a terrible display, and you wonder to yourself whether we had cricketers out there or we had potential pensioners. The type of aggressiveness in the field that the West Indies is known for, and the type of part that is there on the bowling and the feeling, it was just not there all tournament. And trust me, it was going to show up. One of the oldest teams in the tournament, and it showed up in every facet of the game. And we don't want to talk about the batting with the hand-eye coordination and the slouchiness and why it was not a good look for people to run. Let me stop right there.
But Raymond, here Adrian talk about the age makeup of the team. Sri Lanka making 189 off 20 overs. West Indies still had a chance. They were still favorites to win the game at 189 for 3.
Yeah, they still had a chance. I mean, we were wondering at what point Chris Gill and the others would show up, and he didn't. And as such, you realize that we lost the game. But they were still favorites. They still had a chance. If you ask me, they had a chance from Chris Gill. They had a strong batting lineup. Believe me, I don't know at what point they would show up. But if given what was in front of them and knowing that this was pretty much a must win and you need to pile on the runs, you had to possibly show up. I say Pooran showing up, Hetmyer showing up. So those are some positive. And persons ask about being positive. Those are some positive from within this match today. Those are players for the future. And as such, let's see what happens. But there are really some to watch for the future.
As you talk about Pooran and Hetmyer showing up, when the West Indies chased, right, Chris Gayle 1 run from 5 balls, Evan Lewis 8 from 6 balls. Nicholas Pooran batting at number 3, 46 from 34 balls. Chase 9 from 8 balls. Hetmyer not out, his highest T20 score, international T20 score, 81 off 54 balls. 8 fours, 4 sixes. Andre Russell, poor tournament for him batting. I think this probably is his highest score, 2 or 4 balls. Pollard, the captain, went for a wild swing, ducks from 1 ball. First ball to the captain and him swing at with him eye shut. Older, 8 from 5. Bravo, 2 from 3. And Hussein, 1. West Indies lost by 20 runs at 169 for 8. Adrian, captain walked out. Lots of expectations on his shoulder. Let me not go the captain. The universe boss batting at the top, facing the pace bowlers, and I hear people talking about high hand coordination. Gail highest score in the tournament is what? 13 off 13? You,
Yeah.
you expected better this time around.
So let's put it this way. Chris Gayle has been a very good servant for the West Indies team. Has done very well, especially at the T20 level, leading run scorer globally and really good. But Chris Gayle, sadly, is out of touch, out of time, and Father Time has obviously caught up with him. He looked really, really bad at it, but he wasn't alone. He wasn't alone. Look at the scorecard. Only 2 players went above into double digits. Nicholas Pooran and with 46 runs, and Shimron Hetmyer with a brilliant 81 run knock. And you'd have thought to yourself, if they had just gotten some help, these are some of the younger players in the squad, if they just got just a little bit of help from the senior players, the Gale, the Pollards, the DJ Bravo, it would the Andre Russell. But Andre Russell is still in the medical room, right? He's still relaxing. He hasn't really touched the pitch as far as we're concerned. He just went out. We saw him warming up and turning on the pitch, and that's as much action that he has had on the pitch. He has just not shown up any at all. I would be surprised to know what the averages are of some of these West Indies batsmen if they actually are not in the under 5, under 10s. Sound like I'm picking a junior team right now, but that's the type of score that I've been running for the West Indies team. It's a sad situation, but there is hope. Pooran did well. Hetmyer did very well, and so we look and hope on that side.
I thought you were going to say there is Shea Hope to come in the team.
Oh Lord.
But Raymond, looking at the scorecard, Sri Lanka bowling was that good to restrict these power hitters? And if we were to look at the performance, the 2 spinners that we thought would have created havoc for the West Indies, Tekshana, 4 overs, 21 runs, 13 dot balls. Right? Asaranga, 4 overs, 19 runs, 2 wickets, 10 dot balls. Between them, economic rate runs per over 5.25 and 4.75 respectively. Go ahead.
We figured that was going to happen. We'll call them out. We speak of these 2 players being the type of players they are who's going to restrict the hitting for the boundaries and so forth. So we wanted a lot of better shot selection, some pushing around and taking singles and so forth. And I'm going to remind you, because you said it, and you constantly usually remind me anyway, the Pollard statement about running between the wickets. That just so unless when we play Australia we're going to see it, but we have not seen it at all in this tournament. Is always is hitting for the lights continuously. And when you hit for the lights with these spinners, this is the kind of result you have. And
And people with those new tricks.
even when you're choosing a shot selection now, because you don't want to push and turn over the strike and make those like a run between the wickets. This is what you get. You get some 13 dot balls and so forth on these economic rate. So that's the biggest problem. Sri Lanka have some excellent bowlers, but once again, it's based on our actions of shot selection and the ideas of not wanting to run between the wicket. We're yet to see that, Pollard. You yourself came in and swung for the lights. You could have run between the wickets and get some score on the board.
And you didn't. And it's not just swung for the lights in a Raymond. It's the first ball and him Hetmyer and swing for the lights. It's not just swung for the lights. Him Hetmyer and swing him bat and him hear a sound and him walk off. Adrian, performance, action like that from your captain who came out publicly and said, here, we're going to run some more runs. This is unacceptable from the captain. Lead from the front now, please. Adrian. Look like Adrian's stuck.
Yeah, unacceptable, Kurt. The amount of dot balls and offer, the type of what I would call brainless cricket being played. I mean, we know this is the West Indies and people kind of get a little excited, but God, at least get a feel of the pitch, recognize how the ball is moving, and kind of stroke a little around, get yourself your feet on there, get yourself warm, and kind of afterwards they can launch out. But I mean, make no mistake, the West Indies lost by 20 runs, 16 extras. That means they were sloppy on that side, but also nobody apart from the two young players in double figures. That speaks volume. That means there was a lack of patience, and as I said before, I think a big part of that, you're talking about people who have aged past the prime and somehow got their way back in the side, and you just didn't have that mix of youth and experience, and it just came a little too late, and the West Indies have now moved not just with 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but even now we're discussing the post-mortem of the West Indies T20 defense. Sadly so.
Raymond, Adrian talk about losing by just 20 runs. And if based on the bowling performance of the Sri Lankans, when West Indies batted, they had 41 dot balls. And these don't include the wicket-taking deliveries, right? 41 out of the 120 ball, you're not even try score a run off. Sri Lanka, on the other hand, had 24 dot balls.
Yeah,
right?
that's really disappointing. From the dot balls to the extras, as Adrian pointed out, 16. 16 and you lost by 20. So clearly, if you had done a little bit better upon the extras, you could have get a closer margin and possibly hit up the score. So it's really unfortunate to see how they perform. Double the dot balls, but that Sri Lanka had, that makes no sense. And we'll say it already. I'll continue to say it again. Run between the wickets. Do not waste the ball. Don't waste the ball, especially knowing the run rate. The run rate is there. You see them bat and set this, and you see the run rate required, and you make it balloon to a point where it's almost near impossible. You understand? As much as Hetmyer tried, tremendously. If you just, as you said, Adrian, if you got help from any one of the senior players, you'd have a different result. I mean, with a win, but the net run rate would still be under some serious problems anyway. But we'd have got this victory.
Kurt, I haven't done the maths as yet, but probably Ray can tally it up. How many dot balls did we have on the West Indies side?
41.
41. Could you combine the scores of the players who batted under 10 runs and see if dot balls outstripped those players? That would be an interesting stat to know. I mean, an interesting one.
I'm sure it did. Hetmyer 81 and Pooran 46. Yeah, so that is 127, and extra is 11. That's 37, and you make 169.
That
So
tells
there
you
you
how
have it.
poor the West Indies was, okay? Just putting that out there.
Yeah, but they could have easily won the match if they had focused a little bit more on maximizing that
Right?
era. We know we know it's a weak area, but them could have do better. We talk about it and them should have just listened to it and just pay some attention. We know they're aged, but
They're not
them
as
supposed to
agile
have
as they were
strategy.
before.
Yeah, the agility is show, and it's showing at the feeling. You see some nigga, you saw Sri Lanka feel
The
way night
energy.
and day to ours, and you see the energy and the age difference too. So
Look,
it's
yeah,
obvious.
yeah, man. You know
So
when teams are up fight, when teams are up fight, you hear a lot of chatter, excitement, people jumping. Get him, boy, get him, and
Yeah,
then
but
boom,
whenever I hear Puran was like, oh my god,
West
what's happening?
Indies. The
Puran
energy
look
level was
like Puran usually talking, so it's kind of some.
we have one more match to go. What's next
oh
for the West
man.
Indies, Adrian?
We're gonna do this again.
Yes, man. Them have one more match to go. But what's next? We know them are got them yard, but
Well, what's next for the West Indies? You really want to know? What's next in the next match or what's next for the West Indies?
you hear what? Fans out there. We want you to tell us what's next for the West Indies. We gave them the formula. We gave them what was needed to
One
take
job.
them through to the semi-final, and they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. I mean, Bangladesh didn't either, and we said, all right, it's just up to us. And them come and disappoint we, playing against Sri Lanka in a must-win match, and they lost by 20 runs. With
Out.
all the seniors, all the experienced players didn't contribute much apart from their names being on the match card. Fans out there, this is an unacceptable performance by the team today, losing by 20 runs to Sri Lanka. We want to hear from you by you leaving your comments in the comment section below. What's your thoughts on the performance of the team in this matchup against Sri Lanka, as well as the overall ICC T20 international competition? There's one more match to go, and we will be back to give you all about that match as we wrap up the West Indies' failed attempt to defend the T20 title. Fans, just leave a like, subscribe, share with all your friends, tell all your friends them to come and join the Sports DTM family. This has been another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Be blessed.